Come on, everybody get set, let's go. It's the next episode. It's the Premium Pete Show. News, interviews, all of the info. Listen up, it's the Premium Pete Show. If you want the scoop in the low, down low, listen to the show, cause Milk said so. Fuck what you heard, better act like you know. Miss Lissa knows. It's the Premium Pete Show.
She said, my name is Renee. I said, I got a whole lot to say. So can I walk you to the subway? She said, if you want. So, yo, we started talking. I brought 2 francs and 2 drinks, and we began walking. I had to see where her head was at, because her gear was mad fat. So we must chat about this and that. She told me what she was in school for. She wants to be a lawyer. In other words, Shorty studies law. I told Shorty I'm a writer. And while she's looking for a token, she dropped a package of the Easy Wider. Covers her mouth with a name ring. I said, yo, don't sweat the technique, Shorty rock.
I do the same thing.
Except I use Philly blunts. She said, I never fuck with Philly blunts because I heard that was silly stunts. I said, nah, they burn slowly. But right now, I don't know you, but maybe later on, I could get to show you. A ghetto love is the law that I live by. Day by day, I wonder why my shorty had to die.
Yep.
Hey,
yo, Renee,
that's my shit.
Let me tell you something. All my life, after I heard that song, I was never fucking with Renee.
Why?
Because, no. What I mean is I never had a Renee.
Oh.
And they inspired me to get a Renee. And I had a Renee. That's a girl from the Bronx that was in Gun Hill Road. And she was so beautiful. And she was everything that they said she was.
You know that's a real story, right?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely.
Mr. Cheeks, like his girl really passed away, was really murdered. Like that's a real life ghetto tale.
I mean, listen, just because it's not told in a movie theater doesn't mean it's a real tale.
No, he said it was real.
No, I'm saying it's a ghetto tale.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that's what it is. But anyway, listen, internets, we're back. Another episode.
Yes.
Listen, I'm glad that you're on time.
I knew that this was going to happen. I knew that, like, you were going to treat it as though I was some kind of repeat offender. That was an isolated incident. Of course, I was on time.
I have to put up the mugshot picture. I can't put up a nice picture of you in a dress heading to Atlantic City. You know?
Why?
I don't know. Who knows what the fuck you were doing that night?
I fell asleep. You guys saw the picture, which I told Chris, don't be just putting up my photos with my hood on.
Well, for those that don't know, let me tell you something about Chris, okay? He's the videographer and the photographer for the Premium Pete Show. First of all, he's done a great job so far. You know, I mean, he has you looking good out here, right? No?
For the most part, I have to, go through the pictures and delete the ones I don't want. And I can only imagine the photos that he has that aren't out. Like the
Who knows? Who knows? The ones he's taking when you're not looking, of that backside, that Georgia peach.
I don't trust him.
Listen, you got to trust him because he's part of the team. But, the one thing funny about Chris, I will say, is that, when we met him, and he came off like he was a very humble Muslim brother.
Right.
Then all of a sudden, we went for fucking bacon one day. He's like, yeah, I'll take an order, I was like, what the fuck kind of Muslim is this?
Dating white women.
Yeah, fucking, not using the oils, like.
Yeah, and I had, to meet Chris for something, and I'm waiting for Chris, and Chris is all like, I'm around the corner, and 15 minutes later, he still did not meet up with me.
What?
And then I, hit him up, like, Chris, what's going on? Like, you said you were here already. He's like, oh, I stopped to get my hair cut. I'm almost there, though. He's just finishing up.
Wait, you two were for a job interview?
No, this is a different story. He's a repeat offender. This Chris.
See, he came off. Let me tell you something. I mean, I do first of all, internet. Head on over to the YouTube channel, Premium Pete Show. Subscribe. There's a lot of videos on there. The kid does dope work.
Yes, he does.
And he's a respect a shooter. He's a good photographer.
Yeah, and follow him on Instagram. His Instagram is Brother Christopher. Yeah. You can follow Premium Pete, and then you'll see we'll always tag him and stuff.
But at the same time, he came off, like I said, as a good. Sunday church or Sunday Bible study Muslim brother. And he has tricked us because I remember when Ramadan was going on and he was sitting there eating fucking White Castle or saying,
he had a different Ramadan than the rest of the
I was like,
Muslims.
the sun didn't go down yet. He's like, I'm not doing it today. What the fuck are you talking about? Honestly, I don't trust people who say that they're Muslim. Right, and that they'll tell their other Muslim brothers that they don't eat bacon, and then when they're around other people, you know what I'm saying? They eating all that bacon. They ain't listening to the Bible study.
They're not picking up that Quran.
No, and they're not even respecting the Iman.
Right.
And I'll tell you one thing: the reason why I even know about Imams And I want to say that.
I love Iman.
Hold on.
Chanel?
Hold on. I want to explain. No. No. What do you mean Chanel?
Iman.
No. I'm talking about the Muslim. Chris, an Iman is exactly, what is the title of an Iman?
Priest.
Yeah, he's a Muslim priest.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, let me explain this to you, and for those internets that don't know. Many years ago, when I was a knucklehead and got locked up, obviously many people know about that, but I changed my life around. People know about that shit. And I'll never forget, I was in Rikers, and I was stuck there for a couple of months because I had to go upstate and do my bid, but I was stuck there. My grandmother passed away when I was there.
Damn.
And I was very upset, and I remember trying to go downstairs, and, I'm Catholic, speaking to the priest, and trying to somehow have them bring me to my grandmother's funeral to pay my respects. Do you know the priest never even did nothing for me? So later on, I was speaking, and I think you know my style, and the internets who are listening who know me know my style. I vibe with a lot of people.
Right.
And a lot of the Muslim brothers, they brought me down to the Iman, and I told them my story. I told them about my grandmother. I gave all the information. They can't tell you what's going to happen because you'll plan ahead of time.
Right.
Like if you get on a jack or something, you know what I mean? So all of a sudden my cell opened, and they're like, come on. And like everyone in the cell, like who gave me a Lacoste shirt to hold, a brand new one. I had a aviator jacket. Like I went there, but the only thing that was sad was when I went there, they had to bring me before anybody came there. So there was 3 people who escorted me. Now keep in mind, I'm a non-violent offender. If any internets want to know, the smaller idea is I was in there for drugs and hustling.
Right.
But what I'm saying is they had me shackled from arms to legs, and so they went in that funeral parlor, and it was a weird feeling to be in there like that, and have them look at me, and people would hug me. They would come over like, don't hug her like that. That's too much hug. We can't see you. Say, all right, motherfucker, calm down.
People up.
I'm in here for fucking, for that. I ain't killing nobody. You know what I mean? Well, allegedly. But anyway, I guess the point I'm making, the Iman, shout out to all the great Muslim brothers and sisters, and I really, really appreciate, that they gave me a chance and really just looked at me as somebody who really just wanted to go see their grandmother because they passed away. And also understand, especially all these Donald Trump fuckheads and all these white people who don't understand, Muslim is a religion.
Right.
It's not a nationality where people look at them like it's fucking 9/11.
Right.
It's a religion, you fuck. So do your fucking homework, do your Googles, and go to Wawa and get your gas pumped. Okay? But back what I'm saying. Anyway, we spent too much time talking about fucking Chris. Okay? I'm gonna actually sit here and tell him like I'm gonna retire like Bow Wow. But one thing I do want to say too, moving from that is this week on Monday was 1 year of Sean Price passing away. And it's amazing, how much time has flown by already.
Damn.
And, Internet's, our second episode that we ever did was with Bernadette Price, and we had Drew Hawk call in, and we had Buckshot call in, and Dallas Penn call in and share moments and memories. And, I know Sean Price through Dallas Penn for many years. We became real cool. We used to just really share fatherhood, sneakerhood, everything, like, food, anything I was involved in, he got involved in. Like when I created Sneaker Tube back in the day, he made a page. You know what I mean? Like anything I did, he was involved in. You got to eat this. He was submitting food, And, I just really appreciate him as a brother, and I miss talking to him on a level like that. And it's been a year. So, I just want to send love and blessings to Bernadette and little Sean P. and the whole Duck Down family. And
his daughter's so adorable.
So cute.
Yeah, little Sean Price.
Yeah, she's so cute.
So adorable.
She got so much
her personality.
Like
she's a superstar, and I want to give a shout out to Bernadette as well. I follow her on Instagram. I met her through you.
Yeah. And
she's a lovely, lovely lady. So may she just be at peace and just find like a point where she can try to, move forward, because I know it's hard for her. Like, every day. I can even see her losing weight still. Like, it's not the same. So,
but she's repping Sean, and I know they're putting out an album soon. So we'll know, and definitely when that comes out, she come back around and let the internets know about that shit. But most definitely, Sean probably is looking at us down right now and be like, shut the fuck up. But Sean, I love you, brother. Snackavelli, we here. But back to you, just moving along another episode. Last episode was real dope. I really enjoyed.
I love that episode.
Yo, how did you like Ruperto?
I thought that he was amazing. And he's just like another
funny motherfucker,
like
right?
he's like out of the box funny. Like, he's like a hidden gem. And I could definitely appreciate you for bringing him on. Like, it was a great idea. I'm so sad that I was so late, but I'm happy to have had the moment that I did have with him because he's hilarious. And he needs more exposure and just more and more and more. Like, I know that he's, like, done stuff with Prince and having Robin Williams open up for him. But, like, when I went to his social media, I was like, what? Like, he should have, like, a quadrillion followers. And he's just, like, how I always say, like, followers really don't matter. Like, people get so caught up in social media, and it is a good thing. But at the end of the day, there are people that are doing great things, amazing things, and they don't have followers because they're not consumed with that.
Well, and also they didn't move with the transition. I think, you got to be very savvy, and you got to take the time to do that. I look at somebody even like Mel D. He tweets, I think, like once every 3 years. It's just, I mean, some people move with it, some people don't. There's a lot of old school people who have a great following.
There's a lot of new school people. I never jumped on the Twitter wave. Like, I had a Twitter account and I never tweeted. And then it wasn't until I started, like, working with you, and you're, like, so, like, you have a social media presence, especially on, like, Twitter, and, like, so I was like, oh, I have to start tweeting now. So I've been doing it more often, but, like, yeah, like, there's just, like, those people who don't, like, catch that wave and stay afloat as far as, like, the social media and the new apps and like, even on like Instagram is now copying Snapchat, and they have the stories.
I'll be honest with you, they got me. I started doing a couple of them joints already because you know what it is? For me, and I guess I like convenient. And everything's all in one place. I really didn't go to Snapchat because it was like too much. I'm already doing this. I'm already doing that. It's just too much for me. But I like it. I fuck with it. I mean, they really kind of ripped them off. But
yeah, like Melania Trump did to
Michelle Obama.
Yeah, like exactly that.
Yeah, but shout out to Wiggy Trump. He's over there all fucked the fuck up. I see. Yeah, I sometimes I sit back and I watch these fucking news things with him, and I'm like, this guy's fucking burnt. You know what I mean? Like, just the way he even just carries himself. But whatever. I didn't want to talk about Trump this fucking episode. What I do want to say is, shouts to Ruperto. Internet, if you haven't checked out the episode that we did with Ruperto Vanderpool, we call him the Latin King of Comedy. Dope episode. And, we love, me and Miss Lissa, that's a big inspiration for us, is comedy. But even so, as we move throughout the catalog, and I think we're 19 episodes in, nobody's counting, but I guess so.
But who's counting?
Well, I'm Pete contradicting Pete. Once in a while he contradicts himself. But,
he has to.
But, I think so far you're getting a chance to see the diversity. And that's what I love. I love that, we got a lot of dope guests stopping by in the next couple of weeks, and all different. And what I want, I'll be honest with you, I think anybody who knows me listening, okay, I'm going to say this to you, and then anybody who doesn't know me and is just listening now today, I'm a type of person, I'm a heartfelt person. If I fuck with you, I fuck with you. And if you're listening, I fuck with you. And I just want you to take something. I don't want you just to sit here and only listen to me talk. That's not my style. I'm not a person like that. I want you to gain knowledge. I want Miss Lissa to say something where a woman or a man could learn, or like, oh shit, I used to do that. Or even for me, I want to be an inspiration for somebody that, that is going through a tough time, a parent or somebody who's been away, or somebody who wants to become an entrepreneur, or somebody who's learning. And I think that we have been able to bring people on here, not only hip-hop people, but just people who just, entrepreneurs, or, we got athletes coming, or just, just all...
Sexologists, just a different range of people.
All different ranges, man. And Internet, I really appreciate, as we keep on growing, I really appreciate everybody who's fucking with the show. And even, like, I love seeing people on Twitter, going after Miss Lissa.
Y'all gotta be nicer to me.
Letting her know that you want to bang her in the head with a brick and put that right in her Superman underoos. But, listen, it is what it is. Yo, you know what? We got to shout out, homegirl Kia for reals, I believe. Yo, I know she just had a baby, man. I seen that on the Premium Pete Show Twitter. And I know she listens all the time. So that baby was born listening to the Premium Pete Show,
Right. So, maybe she put the headphones on her belly and let us come in her stomach.
Okay. Well, she already had that come in her stomach. That's why she was pregnant.
Right.
So don't get Kia pregnant again. But anyway, shout out to
her.
Shout out to her. I remember her from the other show days. So anyway, she's a good supporter, and congratulations on your seed. But what else are we talking about before we head to a break and bring on a special guest?
I mean, how was your week? What's going on with the kids? We saw that you was taking baby Tristan to swim. How
he like I tell people too, the greatest thing about being a parent is being able to do things for your kids that you weren't able to do,
right.
When you were growing up, and I think that's a beautiful thing. And so he's in swim class. He loves it. He's still young. He's only 15 months, but he's learning how to kick. He's learning how to, go underwater a little bit. He's learning a couple of things, and I think it's dope, and it's a real good bonding material. And for those who don't know, but my daughter, I have a daughter. She's gonna be 17, and I've been separated from my mother for 15 years. We got divorced. So, I have a great relationship with her, as I always say, presence over presence, and I've been able to spend that time with her, but it's not the same when you're not together. So, hopefully, God willing, with low-key Nat, if she don't go fucking Trini, crack your windows out of your fucking car on me, I'm going to stay with the bitch, and
put a ring on it.
Yeah, most definitely, and we're going to have some fun with that, But, I like I said, there's so many different enjoyments of just being a parent.
I had a crazy week. So I've been trying to eat better, just make better decisions, and I've been having the worst luck, with just different, places where I've been trying to buy foods. First I went to the Amish market, and so I tried to get a salad, and this was a really expensive salad because it goes by the weight, so it has nothing to do with...
How much did you pay for salad?
I paid $12.
$12?
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. Any girl who's buying $12 salads definitely doesn't give head on the first night. And I'll be honest with you. No?
No, probably not.
Oh, okay.
So that salad was, I don't even know why it was so nasty. Maybe it was just watery. I don't know the problem, but the salad was horrible. So I was really sad. And then the next day, I really just wanted a Philly cheesesteak, but I fought that, and I had a salad. So I just been all saladed out. And
well, are you tossing salad too?
No,
okay.
haven't been.
Okay.
None of that. Are you into that?
No.
Don't lie.
Once in a while, you may say, what are you doing down there? Cut it the fuck out.
I think every
And then you say, all right, do it again.
Yeah, secretly loves a little tossing of
No.
No.
The in-between joint, you got to massage.
Is that what the salad is?
Tank.
The salad is
the
in-between?
No, the salad is not what I'm talking about. Salad is definitely the bunghole.
But you like the in-between. You like that little pieces, that bridge skin.
That little elephant skin right there. You know what I mean? That little rhinoceros nutsack cloth. But anyway, you know what I do want to say? Ask Pete. Are we going to do that later for the submissions that came in?
Did you want to do that?
Yeah, we'll do that later.
A little break, bring in our guest.
We'll do that, and then later on when we do I Don't Trust People. But you know what? Let me give the promo real quick. Ask Pete is a segment that we created, and it's also, for Miss Lissa. I've seen a couple of submissions come in, people asking questions. Obviously, we have a woman and a man here, which that's us, yes. And, whatever you're going through something at home, going through something at your work, going through something in a relationship, your parents, your family, your cousin, your next door neighbor, whatever the fuck it is, me and Miss Lissa have experience in a lot of things in life. We failed at a lot, and we succeeded at a lot.
Right. No topic is untouchable.
No. And I want to even put this in there. You email thepremiumpeteshow@gmail.com. Put the subject in the title, Ask Pete. Let us know what's going on with you. And if you want, you don't have to, but I'm thinking of another thing that we could do. If you want, leave your phone number in there, and we'll have our assistant hit you, and we'll schedule a time that we'll call you and go over that live on an episode.
That is even more fun.
But if not, you don't have to leave it, and then we'll read it off anyway, and we'll get into it, and we'll try to help you out. Because the internet therapist is here, writing you prescriptions, giving you a 4 aspirin, call me in the morning.
Right, a dose of advice from the dynamic duo.
The dynamic duo, who says cheer and ow, Miss Lissa and Premium Pete.
I think we should just get shirts that say that. I'm gonna work on that. A cheer shirt,
the dynamic
and an
duo.
Shirt. That's one. That could be. That's a third shirt. We have a collection of already building. Don't worry.
One thing at a time. But you know what? Let's take a break. Let's come back with our special guest.
Mm-hmm.
My friend is in the building, and she's a sweetheart. And she has. I'm so excited to have her here. You know April Walker, right?
I met her at Tristan's birthday party.
Okay.
And I do know a little about her line, but I've never been officially acquainted with her.
Okay, so you know what?
Excited.
We'll sit down. She got tons of stories that I want to hear, and I know the internets would love to hear. And it's just she's really inspiring to me. Definitely a pioneer, and definitely somebody that to me, I feel like always keeps a great attitude. And you like people that have great attitudes. Like if somebody's smiling all the time, it's hard to be mad at that motherfucker, right? Mm-hmm. Anyway, internets, you listen to the Premium Pete Show with Miss Lissa knows. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back.
Ow.
Chichi.
This your boy, comedian Roberto Vanderpool, and you're listening to the Premium Pete Show with Miss Lissa's Nose. Tú sabes, mi gente, aquí estamos contigo, los dominicanos, los tiguerazos, cause I'm Dominican, baby. Holla.
Internets, we're back. It's the Premium Pete Show featuring yours truly, Beyonce, a.k.a. Miss Lissa Knows.
Miss Lissa, not Beyonce.
Don't listen, Ike. Don't be interrupting me, okay? Like
you claim too much to be Beyonce.
Whoa.
Or Beyonce. And I feel like, you can't do that to Beyonce.
Don't tell me what I could do.
No.
Okay, because it's not my fault, okay? Because sometimes when I'm walking down the street, people run up to me and they're like, Beyonce, Beyonce. And I'm like, listen.
I never seen Beyonce with red hair.
What? First of all,
I never seen her.
You don't know what she does when she's at home with Sean. So stop judging me because I'm great. And just let me do what I'm doing, okay? Back to our show. We have a lovely guest sitting here with us, April Walker.
Yes.
Hey, hey, hey.
Hey, she said, hey, hey. She got that Fat Albert.
She got that good voice.
Yeah, that old school.
Fat Albert was official back in the day. But anyway, listen, internets, I'm excited to have. I hate to even do introductions anymore.
Why?
Because it's like, first of all, I feel like I don't like being introduced because I feel like it's like people will put you what they think they know of you. Like, if I say, like, April Walker, fashion, like, she also makes an amazing tuna salad, but people don't know that. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, it's just so many things. But anyway, internet's, I'm glad to have, a friend and somebody that I feel is very inspiring and somebody who is, to me, is a pioneer.
She's a pioneer.
Yeah, well, not only in the fashion industry, I feel like even just in the sense of like in the inspiration industry.
She is a pioneer.
Thank you.
And an inspiration for the culture as a whole, as hip hop and fashion in hip hop, because she's one of the first people to like merge the two and make some good money.
Peanut butter and jelly.
Yes.
Hamburger.
Ow.
What else?
She's the dapper friend of this.
Crazy. You guys, good energy and synergy right here. Yeah. I'm watching you guys smiling.
No, we're having a good time. But anyway, April, like I said, I told Miss Lissa too. I says, as we do these episodes and they continue to do it, it's only a matter of time before I brought April up. So for internets who don't know who April is, I feel like give it a second to understand and listen. And once you're done with this episode, I think that not only you'll understand of someone's journey, but I think that you'll be inspired by, the steps and even maybe learn from the failures that she went through or the successes. And I think that that's what it's about, too, because, sometimes I think more so in hip-hop, we look at, like, older people or people who have been around a minute.
Who you calling old?
Hey.
No, he said dirt.
I'm messing with him.
No, I know. People don't, but, with age and with it, comes experience.
Absolutely.
And, that's why from a young boy, I was going after those older women.
Child, I just left nothing, but don't worry about scratch that. Back to you, Miss April.
I want to hear that story.
That's off the air. It's definitely about these young tenderonis out here.
Hey, would you stop? You can't give all your tea. You can spill a little.
I just put a dab on it, and we moving on. Told Miss April we gonna do the after sip. Now I want to talk about her because I was inspired as I was reading and how you took fashion and just do like the customization of like a Dapper Dan and like turn that into your own brand that you were doing and getting on all these celebrities back when we didn't have social media and like you have to like, I guess in my mind, run up on people and talk that talk to get that product placement. It wasn't like a DM or as easy as look at my followers, I'm doing this. Like you had to do that groundwork.
Absolutely. It was different. That was going viral. It was being up in the place and getting in where you fit in and just figuring out connect the dots, how to connect the dots, and it took more work. But it was a different time too. So have to remember the 90s we were all trying to figure it out at the same time. So I think that 80s and 90s was a time where we were building. We hadn't literally arrived. So everyone was kind of feeding off of each other's energy and embracing it, you know what I mean, and welcoming it. Like, how could we help each other? And that doesn't exist anymore without a check.
Yeah. You mean just people like believing in another person's, a business or venture or passion?
Yeah, like I think when I first started with Fashion in Effect, which was my first shop, and it was in Brooklyn on Green Avenue.
Green Avenue,
Clinton,
which is
Clinton
probably
Hill.
they're probably selling tofu and pumpernickel bagels.
They
there
absolutely
now.
are. It's a fufu restaurant, but shout out to the restaurant. But it started with a little custom shop, and I was doing knockoffs in the very beginning because I was very inspired by Dapper Dan, like you said. But they didn't have anything in Brooklyn, and I was like, I'm gonna be that, But I saw that wasn't like I couldn't really build a legacy off of that because it was Gucci, it was Nike, it was all the stuff we loved, and we were doing it better than they were doing it, in my opinion, at that time. But I started making original designs, and that's how I started building my brand. And to your point, Pete, I think like word of mouth of, oh, this chick in Brooklyn that makes clothes. I never forget, I was listening to a recent it was somebody's radio show, and Positive K was on, and he was talking, and he's to this goes to what you're talking about. He said that, and I never knew this. He said he was in DC and he was getting ready to come up to go shopping for a video he was doing, and he ran into Jay, and Jay was like, "You need to go. You check this girl, April, in Brooklyn."
Talk about Jam Master Jay.
No, Jay-Z.
Jay-Z.
And so that's how he said he found out about me, and I made stuff for his video.
Really?
But
That's so hot.
But that was word of mouth, and it was a community, and I just think that I was in Brooklyn, Biggie, and all the people from Brooklyn, we really was showing love for each other, you know what I mean? And it was hip-hop, and hip-hop was just something different that we were all supporting each other.
Well, I think that, I think a lot of times what happens is, especially in this day and age, people see things and they get mad or they get jealous because they want, and back in the day, you didn't get a chance to see all that.
But don't you think social media helps that?
Yeah.
Well, it's a gift and a curse.
It's these filters. It's the filters. People get all caught up in the hype of what they think other people have.
It's not real. A lot of that stuff is just post
smoke
pictures.
and mirrors.
Well, it's almost like, keep in mind, too, you say without a check, people got to believe in people these days. But keep in mind, brands have adopted what you guys really, took time to build relationships with. Like, when you speak about, and we'll get into it, but when you speak about like maybe like a Jay-Z and getting him in Walk Aware, which was your brand that you started, I mean, was it 26 years ago now?
Yeah.
26. So,
26
think about it. When you got him in there, he was like, yo, it's a Brooklyn, somebody from my neighborhood. They doing the thing. I'm doing my thing. But nowadays, brands have adopted to do that and people feel used. So
Right.
I do get that.
I get that too. I understand.
I mean, I'll be honest with you, especially for me being in that world. We're getting packages all the
Right.
time and different things, and I get a lot of stuff that is whack. And I come to a point where I'm gonna pick and choose what I want to support.
Right.
Sometimes I tell people, like, if they say, hey, we want to send you something, to be honest with you, sometimes I may not even get back to them if I'm not fucking with it, because here's the thing, I don't want to waste their time. And, now don't get me wrong, maybe I should say, like, hey, you should do this, but I don't have time for all that.
No, you shouldn't do that.
No,
It's
but
consulting.
sometimes I feel that. But I guess the point I'm trying to make is, like, we come from an era now where it's like people do so much for free product
Right.
that they diminish the chance for people to get checks to do bigger things.
Right.
Now, back in the day, I understand what you're saying. Back in the day, I think people were built on top of relationships that meant something, that was more pure, that putting people on. Like, even like, I remember stories of hearing about you. That's why I said Jam Master Jay, because I remember when you met him, I believe that you were with a crew of people, that you worked with Walkaware, and y'all were all dipped up in some custom
Right.
stuff, and he was like, "Oh shit,
Kilimanjaros.
okay," and he was like, "Yo, what is that?"
Right.
Which is something I feel people are like right now to this day too. Like when you see somebody all dipped out in something, or a certain mink, or a certain chain, or a certain shirt, or a certain shoe, You don't know, like, oh shit, those are dope, or what is that, or how I get that. How did that happen? How did that relationship start?
Kilimanjaro's
which is a club in the city.
It was like legendary back in the day, and in the 90s, and so one night this designer who was a good friend of mine from Brooklyn, he was also a party promoter. His name was Miguel Navarro. God bless the dead.
Rest in peace.
Yes, he was really one of the first people I knew. He was a little bit about Miguel. He was this colorful cat that just had a lot of flavor, that used to dress everybody from the hustlers to artists as well. And we were in Brooklyn, and we had a cool relationship. He had a tailor. He had a custom shop as well. He was in Flatbush though, so like if I needed a zipper or he needed a zipper, and it was late night and we were working, he'd be like, "Yo, you gotta, a red zipper, need a size 24-inch, that's how the relationship we had. So he had a party at Kilimanjaro's, and we went, and Jay was there, and Run DMC was there, and it was a dress-up thing. I think I had on a gown, and he asked who made the stuff we had on, and I made my stuff. So he was like, yeah, right, and I gave him a card, and the next day he called, and he said...
Business card?
Yep.
Oh, look at you, all professional.
Yes, I was very
business acclimated at a young age.
On the door, I was, yep. And anyway, he called the next day, and
which is very rare with business cards, I feel like.
Yeah.
Even though business cards
now they're not, but back in the days,
yeah,
you needed, in the 90s, you needed cards, especially as if, come on, you gotta pick. I'm painting the picture. I'm like, this is 20s and 30s, and it was just different. And when I'm talking about this is still like fashion in effect, pre getting ready on the cusp of Walker wear. So we're talking late 80s, and so he was just like, what's up? And I'm like, here's a card. We really do this, call. And he called the next day, like, we're doing a video next week. Do you want to do the outfits? Do you want a wardrobe? And I was like, yeah. But I didn't think he was serious, and he was serious, and we rocked it. And then after that, he was like, okay, they're serious, and he started working with us on everything. We became their stylist.
Yeah. So let's take it back a little. When you said Fashion in Effect, there's a store you opened up, which you were customizing stuff in Brooklyn, right? Mm-hmm. But your inspiration came from, say, Dapper Dan. Is that where you wanted to get into customizing? Yeah.
I think my inspiration for fashion came from Dapper Dan, and then my inspiration for being an entrepreneur, I realize now a lot of that came from my father. So my father was in the music business, and we grew up watching him manage jazz, a lot of jazz musicians, a lot of the legendaries, McCoy Tyner, Gary Bartz, a lot of those guys. And then he started working with D-Train. He managed D-Train, the group D-Train, jazz. Jazz, and he managed Jazz and Jay-Z. He was working with a lot.
He managed Jazzo.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so they grew up like in my kitchen, in my living room, like always doing the dozens and all of that stuff. So we all were trying to figure it out. And then I would say I had a boyfriend in Marcy Project, so that's how I knew Jazz and Jay-Z.
Was his name Sean Carter?
No, he wasn't. But he lived in the next building, so I actually gave Jazz's demo to my pops, and that's how they connected. And anyway, long story, you know how small the world is. One thing led to another, and I think that now I give him credit, whereas before I used to be like, not another jazz song, like, when I grew up. But watching him do his own thing and manage and dance inspired me to. I remember I was 16 and he took me to Pearl Paints, and it was the bicentennial, and he said, you know what? We're going to make some T-shirts and we're going to go sell them. And it was really, now I understand, an exercise for me. But then I was like, oh, he's embarrassing me again. And he taught me how we drew the sailboats, and we went out there and we made like 200 shirts. And we went out there and we sold them. And we came home like, And I was like, okay, this is what I'm going to do.
I love Pearl Paints, man. They used to have the designer markers there.
The screen print, the whole thing.
Well, Pearl Paints was a great. I used to be into graffiti.
Yep.
Yeah, I used to be into graffiti back in the day, so I used to love me some Pearl Paints. But it's funny that you say that because you have somebody like Dapper Dan who was customizing. For those who don't know, Dapper Dan was customizing crazy things, like all the he was making like MCM outfits, right?
Yep.
He was making like Louis Vuitton outfits, right? What else? Like Gucci, like literally making them into.
He made everything.
Made them into jackets.
MCM better than Fendi, better than Dap did everything. I remember I went there one time with Diane Dixon, and he did like a mink coat for her. Diane Dixon was like the Olympian in the Olympics, and she ran track, and she was from Brooklyn, so we were all hanging, and she went there, and they made her a mink coat, and then it was reversible, and the other side was Louis Vuitton. That coat had to be, it was crazy, like the money he was getting back in the early 80s, and I was like, okay, this is what I want to do.
When you think about it, you say like, what Dap was doing was game changing, because it was like everyone. It almost gets to me like sneakers. When you think about sneakers, like everyone's wearing these sneakers. How do I be different?
Right.
And I feel like he did that in his lane and crushed it.
Absolutely.
And had people who, because keep in mind too, those days of hip hop. And the braggadocious type style.
Yeah, it was all about in your face.
Yeah, it was like to come in like, okay, this dude has a mink, but we got the Fendi mink.
Yeah,
the reversible Fendi mink.
Yeah.
I was making the leather screen print for all of those Fendi, Gucci, Polo, all of that stuff in my shop. And I remember I had a guy who had a custom detail shop in Chicago. I would ship him so much leather out there. I mean, and charge him a lot. He used to do the interiors of the cars and all of that, the tires on the back. Those were the days.
That's crazy. Well, do you feel like it was hard for you to break into the fashion industry and do what you were doing as a woman, even though it wasn't so many people trying to do fashion at that point? Like it wasn't oversaturated like it is now.
Right. I think so that's a twofold question. The beginning part of it is I think it wasn't as hard in the sense that I was always a hustler.
Right.
Like from the time I was 13, I was teaching gymnastics, and I always was figuring out a way to make money. So that part wasn't hard. What was hard was I didn't have a mentor. And there was nobody with a blueprint in this lane yet, because we were literally paving the way without knowing that's what we were doing. So we were figuring out this Rubik's Cube as we went along, and there wasn't really anybody there that was willing, that in fashion, not urban fashion, but in streetwear fashion, there was nobody in that space yet. And then in fashion, people looked at it differently, especially then. So it wasn't like people were saying, I'll help you. This is the way you need to do this. There was none of that. So I had to figure that part out. So that was hard. And then I was the only female, and I was doing menswear. And so that was another hurdle, because, being in your early 20s, and I was shell toes and farmers and,
Brooklyn girl.
Yeah.
Big errands.
There you go.
But what's another thing too, I'm sure, is that how many people, especially that day, back in that time, were trying to holler at you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and not take you serious. No, really,
yeah,
I'm saying
real talk.
Like, because.
So that's where that business card came in. You was like, look at you being on. I had to be super on my game. I just remember, like, I just always had to be kind of like, I think that's where I get that from, like that kind of like
that confidence.
Don't really no. Sometimes people read me wrong as rigid, and it's not that. But I'm so used to like putting on this uniform of like it's stern. Business, Like I had to be more than the guys, because I'm like, no, that's not happening. We can get this money,
and you wanted to be taken serious.
Absolutely.
One thing I like a quote that I was looking up in the Respect mag that they wrote about you. They wrote, "Walkaware is a brand that transformed the way the hip hop world saw fashion," and I like that, because it goes to show you that everything transcends into hip hop, but sometimes people, I think at that time, didn't really see it. like where sneakers and hip hop go hand in hand, or fashion and hip hop go hand in hand. And I feel like there's a lot of other people who started to get it later on, but you definitely were one of them who helped usher it in, at an early time and let people see what it was. So let's take it to the point where we let people know. So Fashion in Effect was a store you opened up in Brooklyn, where you did customization.
Right.
How long you had that store?
I had that store for, I don't know if I shared that. So I had that store for 2 years. And then Christmas Eve, we were blowing up. Like, it was becoming like one of those, she makes that stuff over on Green. And Christmas, it was Christmas Eve. We opened up early because we had so many orders. And these 3 dudes came in with big bags. They knocked on the door. It was early morning, me and a tailor. And I had a window, and I opened the door, and they came in, boom, shotties and everything.
Really?
They stripped me down. They took the jewelry. I had my coat still on full length. It was ugly. And
Brooklyn style.
Raw, and these dudes were the real deal. And they talked. It was not a good situation. And they locked the tailor in the bathroom. And I just remember I was on the ground. They were like, get on the ground, and they were taking everything. And one of the guys was like, he wanted to rape me. He said it to the other guys. Now, can you imagine what this was like? And I'm laying on the floor, and I looked because they had on masks, which you could see their eyes, and I knew one of them. I don't know where I knew him from to this day, but I recognized his eyes, and I remember he was like, "Can we curse on this?"
Yeah.
He was like, "Stop looking at me, bitch," and I just started praying, and the other 2 dudes was like, "Come on, man, we ain't got no time. And that saved me. God saved me, But after that, I was like, all right, we're gonna do appointment only. I got rid of the lease. I changed it up, and that's how I came back to, my place. I started working. I have a big place, so half of my place was custom and by appointment only, and then. And that's how I really got more into the entertainment only, because I was very particular about who was coming through.
It's funny too. I mean, I know it happens all over the world, but just being a Brooklynite, and it's funny how when somebody will hear, that's the thing that sucks about Brooklyn, because as a crew or a neighborhood, you'll find a spot that has something good, and then everybody else will find out, and somebody will fuck it up by trying to rob it.
You know what? I got to tell this story. So the crazy thing about that story is I started calling around town, and I called the cops, and everybody's supposedly looking. But I got a call around too from somebody like, "Did you get robbed today?" And I said, "Yep." And so they said, "I'll call you back." And that night, they knocked on my door with my stuff.
Really?
So the people came to try to sell these guys some stuff, and they got my stuff back.
That's lit.
And are those guys okay now? Or they?
They got beef. They had beef.
Okay, they in the fucking caddy. But what's so funny? Even hearing back that before you started Fashion in Effect, which was your customization shop in Brooklyn, that you were accepted to be a correction officer.
That's right.
And a firewoman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That was amazing.
Because it's
that
funny.
Was a good job.
Parents say
job now, but then it was like your parents were like,
"Yeah,
come on."
Yeah. Well, they don't believe in dreams. Many people don't. I mean,
my mom was the structured, the organized, the safe one. My father was the only one out of everybody I knew who was like, kick rocks, do you? Yeah. I appreciate that now.
So she wanted you to
she was just
be,
God,
work for the city.
She was an executive secretary. She worked for Morgan. She worked for Trust Company, Morgan Trust. She worked for, Visiting Nurses Association. So she was very, structured. And thank God she was, because my father was the exact opposite. Yeah. So the balance was good. I think I got somewhere in the middle of both of them. Right. But she wasn't having it.
And you were born in LA, right?
Yep.
How old were you when you moved here to Brooklyn?
I was probably about, I'm going to say probably about 5 maybe. because we moved to Roxbury, and then we moved uptown, and then we came to Brooklyn. My father was in the music business, so Papa was a Rolling Stone, literally.
Yeah, wherever he rolled, you know,
wherever he laid that hat was his home.
Yeah,
That's for
and
sure.
you made it to Brooklyn and represented Brooklyn, you know, so fully, you know. But even with the shop, this is all before Walkaway, right?
That's right.
Even at the shop, I know there's another story that I love to hear about. Is when you have the customization shop, and in walks a kid to put something on layaway. Could you bring us through that story?
Yeah. So back in the day, Clinton Hills, you got to take the C train. You get off
In Brooklyn.
in Brooklyn. So you get off. That's like 4 or 5 stops in Brooklyn, and you have 2 exits. You can come out of my side, which is Clinton Avenue, which is the tame side back in the 80s, or you had to go at 9 o'clock. They closed it up, and if you're on the train, you had to go through Washington Avenue. Well, when you came upstairs on Washington and Fulton Street, it was nothing nice. It was like a crew mob deep outside, hoodies. They're ready. They're looking for the Vicks.
They're ready. Yeah, the
right
jokes
there.
is on.
So you need to walk fast and have your screw face ready, you know. And so Biggie used to hang out there, and I knew him from the neighborhood because he was a little younger, and I'd always see him. But then he came in, this little round kid. He was so young then. He came in because we did airbrushing too, and we had Eric B. and Rakim
Like a
shirt
portrait?
that we did, and it was in the window, and he came in, and from that day he just we struck up a conversation and started talking, and that's how I found out he was in music. I just knew him from the kid that was hanging on Washington Ave, you know, but he was saying he was into, and he was asking me how much that was, and he said, I'm gonna come back, and sure enough, he came back, and he became a friend and a loyal customer, and we just really, that energy we talking about creatively, like we both building, and you know, and when he got his deal with Puff, he stayed true, and he's a friend to the end.
And he bought a lot of but that wasn't, because I remember seeing him in a Walkaway jean jacket.
Right.
But the customization shop was pushing Walkaway out of there yet?
We were doing Walkaway without the logo. So like if you look at like the EPMD videos and stuff like that, a lot of customers, we did a lot of that. We had a rough and rugged suit. That's what it was called. It was a denim suit, which was like this bold denim that felt like it was bulletproof denim. A lot of my inspiration back then was like a cross between Dickies and Carhartt. Like I love workwear. So I wanted to dress up that because that wasn't in existence at that time. You know what I mean? And fit it over Timbs because nothing really fit over Timberlands at that time.
Now, is that where Walkaway comes from? Obviously, your last name, and then I can wear. Like...
Yeah, that's where that whole wear, because that whole workwear was just everything for me.
Even though I feel
something like a dude in Carhartt, in a Carhartt jacket, and Tim's was like, oh.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say the same, but I mean, I know being in one, so you know, thank you for that. But you know, just April Walker alone, I feel like is like a dope designer name in my opinion. Like, you know, oh, what you wearing? I'm wearing that April Walker. You know, it sounds like a fashionable name, a fashionista, or whatever the hell you want to call it. But you know, it's dope to see somebody like Big come in there, you know, and then believe in y'all, and then you know, work with stuff. So, you know, so you know what, we're gonna go right into.
And he was a kid though.
Well, young.
Very young.
Yeah. I mean, but his mindset was to get fresh.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you know, get money.
Absolutely.
Right.
But you know, I want to go into some of these. You know,
I gotta shout Milk out because he was definitely one of the first. Milk is chilling. He was one of the first dudes to come up in there.
Yeah,
he was one of the first dudes to come up in here too.
Really?
Pause to him coming up in here, but but Milk didn't come up. Yeah, it's so fun. It's so funny how life turns itself. I mean, obviously the internets know that he's like my newly found family member, and so it's funny how that works out and stuff like that. Yeah. But you know, it's funny because I remember being at your house and Milk bringing the outfit that you made for him 25 years ago.
More than that.
Maybe almost 30 years ago.
Yep.
For I Don't Care. And
I did the album cover, yeah.
The jean jacket, the pants, and it's funny. Even like talking with Mel, who is a little bit older than me, talking with Mel, and I always make fun of him like when we're at like parties and we're like using like Apple TV or Chromecast. I'm like, you want me to put the when you perform on? And he's like, nope. He doesn't want to see it. And I'm like, you over there with the red overalls? Because there's a video on YouTube of Milk and Giz at Lights concert performing top billing. And the crowd's going crazy when they come out. And I'm like, you wearing those red overalls? And he's like, dude, they're corduroy.
Corduroy
or velvet, or
I just bought
forgot what
corduroy pants.
But what happened was they had them custom where it wasn't.
I remember those.
Yeah, so and I guess, and it's funny because as people who may not know now, but that was a big thing to people to take something original and make it their own.
Remix.
Yeah,
and they're doing it again. I see the kids all over Instagram.
How do you feel about that? Is that like something that excites you, or do you kind of feel like they're just like biting?
When you remix something?
Well, how the new generation is kind of like just like repeating everything you guys already did.
I think it's flattering. I think creativity always wins. So I think you could get in where you fit in, but you better be able to sustain it, and that's what we'll be able to tell.
Right.
So it's cool. I think it's a nice way to intro if you have a really cool thing that you could remix, but then to be able to keep it, you got to go past the remix. You're not going to want to hear that remix forever. So what else you got? But even
like when you were doing, like aside from that, like when you were creating Walker-wear, that was kind of before like the Rocker-wear and the Woo-wear and the Sean John. So you are one of those staple starters.
Right.
Did you ever feel like they were kind of like biting, or did they like use you as a consultant?
They stole your wear. They stole your wear.
No,
okay, I'm playing around.
They stole you.
I felt like I always felt like this, and I'm not giving you a politically correct answer, but real talk, I feel like there's enough room for all of us, and I wasn't ever threatened about my space, like in terms of, I always thought, I'm not trying to be gas, but I always thought my stuff was pretty dope. So it's like, if you go into any store, there's like 25 brands in the store that are selling. There's room. You're never going to have a closet with just one thing.
Unless you're Russell Simmons.
Unless you're Russell Simmons. But even him, you know what I mean? You're going to have this and you're going to have that. And if my stuff is up next to your stuff, it's a bigger chance for me to sell. So, I didn't think like that.
You have a great outlook.
And you have to. But, let's take it to Walker-wear.
Thank you.
So you close down the customization shop.
Right.
And you start Walker-wear? Like, is that where it started? Even though it was started in the customization shop, where does the logo come from? And then where do you start, making clothes for Walker-wear that you start? Now, I'm sure, you had it in multiple accounts.
Uh-huh.
And, I mean, how many stores did you have it in at the time, do you?
At
its height.
At its height, wow. We had a big base. So at its height, we were selling department store business, Dillard's, Dayton's. We were selling. You remember A&S?
Yes, A&S. Yeah.
We sold them.
Damn, man, you're making some people feel old and some people feel confused.
Macy's. We did Foot Action. We did. Remember Merry-Go-Round?
Merry-Go-Round. You know what?
You don't remember Merry-Go-Round?
Was that Harlem?
Merry-Go-Round. They were like 1,200 merry-go-rounds around the country. They were in all the malls. They were the shit. We sold them Simon's, Dr. J's, all those guys and up. So just around the country like that. There was Fat Caps. There was shout out to Detroit, Mr. Rags. We sold, Up Against the Wall in D.C. Like all those guys. Izzy. We sold a lot of stores, a lot.
So when the shop closed down and you went and you built your own,
So when the shop closed down, I started doing custom a lot. And that's when I saw a lot of the people in the shop, and when I closed it, they were continuing to ask for stuff that I was making in videos, but they didn't know I was making it. So they'd be like, can you make that outfit? There's this outfit that Milk wore on I Don't Care album coming. Can you make that? Until I saw there's a void here. We're not being serviced with our lifestyle stuff. So that, and also at that time, by this time, I was making clothes for Jay. And Jay was like, yo, everybody's asking you for the same. You need to make it like a line. And I was like, I don't know, if I can. But I tried a few pieces, a crew neck, a snapback, a fitted. I did the rough and rugged suit and a tee. And I went and I rented a suite. It was at the Flat Hotel where Motown, I knew it because I was doing so much entertainment stuff. Motown Records used to use this hotel for all their it was like their corporate hotel for all when their artists came through. So I used it because it was a suite and it had like a nice setup. And we invited 10 buyers, Dr. J's merry-go-round, one of the department stores. It was 10 of them. And we hooked up the room with some, what we have over there, some
Cabernet Merlot.
Some cats, some little, hors d'oeuvres, and got them drunk. No, let me stop. But little tipsy, a little nice, buzz going on, and we invited them, and we did our tap dance, and they all bought. Jay came through.
You had like your own agenda.
Yeah.
In that room.
Yeah, definitely. I had a team, and he helped. And
when he came through, I mean, was he just there for the presence?
He was there. I knew that he would be like the wow factor. He was the cosign, exactly. Mm-hmm. He was the cosign because they were apprehensive because hip hop still was really settling in. The music was starting to really take off, but the clothing, that was just still like, ooh, that's too much.
And you're still a woman selling
and then I'm a woman. So I remember at that first meeting, we have a great relationship, but I remember the owner of Simon's, he asked me, your prices are the same prices as Fila, my velour sweatsuits, because I was big. I was selling velour sweatsuits too at that time. That had fashion in effect, and they carried over. And I used to flip velour. I used to love velour.
I love velour.
I really could work a velour sweatsuit inside out, and with the bucket hats, all kinds of stuff. So I was doing those, and I remember him saying, "Your prices are the same as Fila." And I said, and he's like, why do you think you can have the same prices? And so those are the kind of things that I had to deal with on a constant basis. But he bought.
So they wanted you to be lower because they felt Fila was already established.
An Italian designer that was,
Forget about
What's your background?
I am, I say I'm a Heinz 57. Like,
got a couple
shake
flavors.
it up.
Ketchup?
I got some flavors. Yeah, no, but Indian, African-American, Mexican,
That's hot. Is your mom Mexican?
Yep, Mexican,
and your dad?
Indian, and my father is black.
I love it.
Yep.
So you're a Blaxican.
There you go.
Okay.
That's what I said.
That's why you got that good hair.
Lexican all the way.
Well, I told you about that good hair comment.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I told you about that.
I was fresh back in
my
all
father,
hair is good hair.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're right.
Even
No, I want to be honest with you. Mexicans, particularly men, they have the best hair in the world. Like, their hairline, like, I'll be honest with you, every day, what? Every day I wake up, I'm trying to hold on to my hairline. Mexicans, they start on the eyebrow, their hairline. So by the time they're 40, 50, it only reaches, in the middle.
Like the natural hairlines.
You are silly.
I love it.
Yeah. It's just crazy. But
what was like your most like craziest order? Like the most outrageous, like, oh my God, I'm not sure if I could do this. And who was it?
That's a good question. That would take me, that was a long time ago. But I've had some moments.
Because I feel like a Kanye would come in and be like, you know what, April? I want mink on this sleeve, and then this arm I'm going to need Louis Vuitton, but then I'm going to need an accent of a diamond.
You know what? I think, so two things. So I think those two craziest moments I can tell you. So Hype did his first video when he started his...
Hype Williams.
Yeah, when he first started, he broke off of... Many people might not know. Hype actually... So I had a styling company too.
I love you. I'm just
thank you.
Whatever you want to talk about, the styling company, let's go.
But no, the styling company was like that. I say that not to be beating my chest, but I'm saying it because I have to remember the styling company helped me in my marketing with Walkerwear. Mm-hmm. So I'm styling you. I'm not putting all Walkerwear in there, but best believe if the record company gives me a a check, I'm gonna make sure some of that is going to custom so we can squeeze some walk away in it if it fits the artist. So that helped, and we did over like 100 videos, album covers, photo shoots, and with different artists. And so I worked with Classic Concepts, which was Ralph McDaniels and Lionel Martin, and Hype was working under them, and he learned there, and from there he went off and started his own thing, and he did his first video at my house for PM Dawn.
Really?
And he wanted me to make an outfit, jackets for PM Dawn, and I said no. And he was upset about that.
Why'd you say no?
Because I'm about brand. No, I'm about brand consistency. So think about some of the characters that were wearing Walker Wear. You got Biggie, you got Treach, you got Tupac, you got all these kind of characters. PM Dawn. That, you know, it just was like I was gonna really compromise the brand or take a chance of them not wearing it anymore because PM Dawn is not wearing. I'm not doing that.
You look back now, do you regret?
Not at all.
Okay.
She gotta stay true to who she is.
Of course,
stay true to the brand.
And you know what? You have to make an executive decision.
Absolutely.
And you know, sometimes you need to do that. Sometimes I think us as people, we don't want to do that. We don't want to make that decision. I loved PM Dawn. Yeah.
I love their music and everything. It just didn't fit the brand. And so if I could control it, I was trying to control it because I think imaging, you get mixed messages when you don't do that.
Now, for the most part, I mean, a lot of people or record companies or people who were buying, they were paying, right? But there were like, you know, a lot of people who didn't want to pay, where it comes to a point where it's like, yo, these fabrics cost money.
That's now. That's now. That wasn't then.
So then everybody was paying.
Paid from Shaq for his movies. I did Shaq's movies. I did the costume wardrobing to his album covers. They didn't even ask. They were like, I got you. What? They all paid because I think they knew Black money matters.
Right.
That's where we were coming from. Like, let me support you. I know you. Like, it was no problem, and it was.
Why do you think that's lost now?
Because I think our country is lost on a bigger scale. I think it's like that's a microcosm of the bigger problem, which is we're just lost in terms of consumption and wanting so much for so little. And, you know, we don't want to invest in each other. We don't want to invest in anything except, you know, selfies and stuff that really doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, sad.
That's why social media is a gift and a curse. But you know what? Let's take a break.
Okay.
And we'll come back. We're delving into the career and the life and times of hip-hop early on, the fashion world, and meets hip-hop world, and all the stories that, you know, I think are very interesting. And we got more to talk about.
Okay.
So, internets, don't go anywhere. You'll be right back. We'll listen to the Premium Pete Show. When Miss Lissa knows.
Al, grab your blunt and come back.
Well, I don't know about a blunt. You could
whatever you want, wine, whatever.
Glass of wine, Gatorade.
Don't judge the internet. Some of them is gonna grab a blunt right now.
Okay.
Phillies.
Yeah. No Phillies.
No Phillies. We don't trust people that roll Philly.
Really?
No.
That back in the day.
Well, you forget April is still stuck
school.
Back in the day.
Yeah, I don't do Phillies or
What
blunts.
you do now?
I don't
April?
do none of that.
Okay,
I do this right here.
There you go. Stick
Internets.
to that.
Be right back.
Al.
Chit-chit. Internets. You better fucking be subscribed to the Premium Pete Show, or I'm gonna come over there with my Uncle fucking Tony.
Hey, bust your fucking bottle caps over here.
Well, no, kneecaps, not bottle caps.
Somebody's busting the cap over here.
Listen,
It's your favorite duo.
This is the dynamic duo, the fucking Miss Lissa over here. I got, you know, myself, and you better be fucking subscribed on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, fucking, where else?
Motherfucking the Goodfellas app, you already know. It's the Manolo and Scarface, the podcast.
Yeah.
Premium Pete and Miss Lissa knows, a.k.a. Beyonce.
So if you don't fucking subscribe, I'm going to put you and your fucking cousin in the backseat of a Lincoln Continental, okay? And then when we open it up, we're going to fucking stab you like Joe Pesci.
That's right, you fucking internets. You don't like us? You don't fuck with us? You're not on Instagram talking about us? Then fuck you. You go to iTunes, press follow, and you put us all in your fucking ear holes.
Oh, forget about it.
Forget about it.
The Premium Pete Show, featuring Miss Lissa Knows. Get with it.
Another Quaalude, you love us in the morning.
Cheer.
Ow.
Internets, and we're back. We're sitting here with April Walker, Miss Lissa. Listen,
the lovely
Even though you're a little younger, you're getting some of these old school stories of what exactly happened in the beginning time.
I need these stories. I feel like that's something that I feel like is lost in the generation after me. Because I was born in the 80s. But this new generation, they have like a sense of entitlement or and a lack of acknowledgement. I love, like, every time gems start getting dropped, whether it's Miss April Walker or Bernadette Price drops some gems for us, Just Blaze. Like, I love, love, love. If nothing else, Grandpa Pete, I love the fact that Grandpa Pete, I'm just loving the fact that you can bring in like amazing people who can actually like help me and the internets and everything that we're doing. Because even though Miss April Walker was fashion and that was her niche, she actually has a degree in business. So
no, I love my junior year in college.
Wait, you gotta go with that degree. No, we gotta Photoshop you a degree. Don't worry about this.
No. They gotta know that.
Okay, you didn't finish?
So, no.
But that's what you were studying.
I was studying business and communications. That's right. In third year.
So you're the first Kanye. You're the first college dropout.
First one. There you go. No, I'm not the first
pioneer
one.
All pioneer sorts.
No. I gotta give Russell credit. Him too. You know, he didn't go to college. It's a bunch of us.
I always say there's more millionaires that don't have a college degree than there are that have there's more millionaires that didn't finish school than there are that actually did. Like, it just is what it is.
I'm not promoting not to go to school. Let me clarify that. But it's just you gotta
promote it. You gotta promote the free thinker.
No, I think
it's just different strokes.
It's for different folks. It's up to the person. You know, I mean, I think if you know what you want to do and you're ready to jump out into that, then that's what you got to do. And sometimes, I mean, I feel like school is better to have it than not have it.
I do too,
especially at this point.
But at the end of the day, you got to follow your gut and your heart, and you got to take a chance. Like, nothing, you can't expect to be great and do simple things. You got to do great things. You got to jump out, and I feel like that's what you need to do. And I think a lot of those were done, especially with you Walkerware. Yeah. When we talk about where your parents should have said, be a fireman, be a correction officer, and go work for the city. No, you want to open up this shop and do customizations, and then you open up Walkerware and you start building relationships. What I want to get into is how you met a lot of different people and how fashion and hip hop came together. And really just became forward, and helped it progress and propel. Right. I feel, but people like when you talk about somebody like Aaliyah, I remember seeing her wearing overalls, Walkerwear. Mm-hmm. How did that even happen?
So we were working at the time with R. Kelly. We were styling some of his stuff, and he signed Aaliyah, and I was between LA and New York at the time, and they called about the back and forth video, and I'd already met. No, that was after. So anyway, we ended up meeting with her and her management team, and Kimya, who was working with me, and Nicole Walker. I had a great dream team. They came together and actually worked with me, and they ended up styling the whole video. We put together the concept and did the back and forth video.
Classic.
Do you have any vivid or just any memories of her that just stuck out, maybe about her personality or anything?
I have to be completely honest. That day I was working another job, so I didn't go, but my team was there, and I remember we talked about it that day at the end of the day, and they were very I remember it standing out to them how much she was dependent on R. Kelly at that time, a lot of his views, and she was so young then. I mean, she was maybe 15, 16 at this time when she did back and forth. So when they were asking her stuff, she was like, I don't know, you have to ask what Robert thinks. That was her thing. And then years later, I met her again, and we ended up hanging out one night with KG. He was producing some of her, KG from Naughty by Nature, album, and we ended up going out, and she was just a lovely person, lovely spirit.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Rest in peace to her.
Now, even somebody, you mentioned Naughty by Nature, but even somebody like Treach, how did that relationship open up?
That I actually met Treach. So I was I went to become an extra on the Juice movie, right? Remember Juice?
Yes.
And so I went, but it was strategic. I wore one of those velour outfits with the bucket hats. And so I didn't end up in it, but Tupac stopped me and said, "Where'd you get that?" And I, bam!
Business card. Take this business card, Mr. Shakur.
Exactly. And then a few months later, I don't know who remembers Bitches with Problems, BWP.
Yep.
But I was styling them. And so No Face, I was doing a lot of work with No Face Records under Def Jam label. Shout out to Mark Sex and the crew. But Stretch and Tupac came to the video that day to see them because they were all from Queens. Mark and Stretch and Ed Lover, all, it was like a whole crew. And he brought Tupac, and so we clicked again. It was another one of those Biggie moments where he was like, "Are you the girl from, oh, word?" And then I started styling him and doing his stuff, and him and Treach were tight. So, and Treach had, I remember he was hanging with him that day in Juice, so we just kept passing and ended up, I just became their stylist.
Did Tupac want, like, you know, like people like when you say like Tupac, even if we go back saying Aaliyah or R. Kelly, were they just buying pieces you already had, or they were
all
they
of that
for
was
the
custom.
customization?
They wanted the custom.
Yeah.
So they did custom and they bought some stuff too that was ready. But I think the big edge I had at that time is like I literally could turn it around in 24 hours.
That's good.
And you had a good team.
I had a great team.
And now were a lot of these customizations like their thoughts, like, yo, it'd be dope if you gave me a leather jacket with bird fur, you know, or
most of them were like, you know, like Pac gave me a lot more creative control.
Nice.
Jay was very focused. He knew what he wanted. He was just
when you
what
say
you
Jay,
just said. Jam Master Jay.
Okay.
Jam Master Jay knew what he wanted. Jay-Z actually did most of the stuff I did for Jay-Z was stuff that I already made. So he
was just fucking with it.
He was just going hard. Biggie, I did both, but he did both. So I did custom for him, but a lot of the stuff he did, like the rough and rugged suit. I have a polar fleece sweatsuit coming out for Christmas it's a rendition of a sweatsuit that he wore a lot. It gets a lot of coverage, and I had to recreate it for the movie All Eyes on Me. And so I'm gonna drop it around that same time.
Nice.
That's so dope.
So on walkaware.com.
Walkaway.com.
How did it feel recreating stuff for that movie? Like, did you have like flashback moments or anything like sticking out from doing that?
I feel like my stomach is like, excuse me, guys.
You gotta fill it up with this.
I didn't eat today.
Juice.
I've been going hard, you guys.
Yes,
I've
girl,
been working.
This is why you still snatched. You running around just sipping wine. Are you hungry? I gotta get on the April Walker diet plan.
You are silly. So if you hear a little rumble in the jungle, you know what it's about. But no, the question you just asked me was about. It felt surreal. I didn't go to the set, you know, but when I was in LA, I got to, Benny Boom was doing a private showing, like maybe 15 people in the room, and he called and said, "Do you want to come and see it?" And I got to see it, and it was just one of those moments where I met the guy that played Pac, who
he looks like
he looks so much like him.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And I was nervous because they said he wasn't really acting before this, but he did his damn thing. I mean, it's good. He did a great job. It's gonna be good. I mean, if you're gonna have your haters because they're just haters in the world.
Yeah.
But knowing Pac and knowing a lot of the stories and knowing a lot of things that really did happen, I think they did a good enough job. It was too much that you could get on. You can only get but so much in an hour and a half, 2 hours. But they did a great job.
Yeah, I mean, the way he looks, and you know, even look like straight out of Compton, you know, look like Cube's son. Like how much, he didn't do much stuff. I mean, he was amazing. Even the kid I met the kid who.
Ice Cube's son, like.
Yeah, but
he's being coached by Ice Cube, and he looks just like him. So even if he would have just kind of been like trash Bandicoot, I feel like people still would have fucked with it because he looks so much like him, and it was just like. He's being coached by his dad.
Yeah, but we judge people too much.
They didn't let Eazy-E's son play him.
Yeah, but he did a great job.
He did an amazing
Cube's
job.
son. But when does that movie come out?
So it was supposed to come out in September. I've heard rumors that it might be pushed back to November, but between September and November.
Okay, yeah, that's gonna be a dope one.
I definitely want to see it.
So even like when you talk about, like, we spoke about Aaliyah, we spoke about R. Kelly, we spoke about Biggie, we even spoke about Jay and your father managing him and Jazzo. Even spoke about Naughty by Nature and Treach, right? But somebody that was very influential that I don't think anyone in the fashion industry at that time, particularly in hip hop and in that culture, would think Mike Tyson would particularly Walker wear. And I remember watching him fight in the ring with Walker wear, boxing shorts. With Walker wear, so the how the crew neck. But it was like ripped style.
Right.
You know how boxers do their own type of.
So we did a towel for him. That's what we
Okay.
did. That was crazy. That what you're thinking, I think of, is we actually he wanted he was like, I want to come out in a towel, and I'm like, a towel? He's like, yeah, just cut it. So we cut it here, and he wore it like a shirt, just the towel part, and he put 2 big W's on it, and it was beastly. It was just crazy.
Now take us back. How did you even meet Mike Tyson?
So now Naughty, see how the world is so, like, it all comes together. He came home. He'd just come home, and he was having his first fight in Vegas, and I went out to Las Vegas with Shaquem and Tracy Waples and Naughty and Latifah. We all were going to the fight, and they were like, we're going to this party. Mike is having a party, a barbecue. You want to go? And I'm like, hell yeah,
Right.
So I went, and it was off the chain, and we were sitting over there, and I see his sister Jackie, who I knew Jackie forever from Brooklyn, from when we were kids, and she's like, April, come over here. I want you to meet somebody. And I went over and I met him, and I was in shock. He was like, I've read about you. I know about you. So many people came up and told me about you, Tupac and Treach, and he just had a list, and I'm a fan. So I was like, really? Because it's Mike Tyson.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
So I went back to New York. I went back to my office, and I put together a box. I did product place for him. I did do product placement for him, and I sent him some stuff, and then I got a call a few months later from his management, like, what are you doing with your company? And he was like, you should come and talk to us. So that just opened the door for a whole new business relationship with his merchandising and stuff.
That's so dope.
Yeah. And what about, like, wearing it in the ring? Because keep in mind, right, I want to bring the internet to, like, today's world. If Premium Pete has a clothing line, it's called, whatever.
PP.
No PP. It's called Forget
PP
About
wear.
It, right? It's called Forget About It, right? So I have a clothing line. If I'm cool with so many different people, I can get people to wear shirts,
Relationships.
right? Through my relationships. But that doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to get Mike to wear it in the fucking ring.
Yeah, it was nuts. That was God. God was shining his light on me. I will say that first. The stars lined up. So we're working together, and a few things. It's relationships. I have to say, I think he suggested it because we were working together. He was like, you want to make some shorts? And I'm like, he was Grant. Remember Grant, the
Yes.
guys? So I know him at this time. I mean, I knew him then when he was hustling like me, trying to get it out there. And so he's talking to him about his boxing, gloves for the fight. And he's like, you want to make the shorts? And I made the shorts, but then he added on the towel, which just added so much more to it when he came out with those 2 big W's, and then he had the WW on his and then in that moment, I'll never forget when he did his weigh-in and he had to do a press conference. His team was relationships, to your point about relationships. Gordy Groove, shout out to Gordy Groove. Groove too. So we were all in Vegas. I was between Vegas and there, and he called me like, "Yo, we got a press conference. I think I can get your banner in the MGM in the ring. Can you get down here right now with it? I'm gonna sneak it in. We're gonna sneak in the back door. We're gonna get up there, just bum rush it." And we did that. And I have a picture to this day. Like we're up there putting it up, and we got away with it. You know how much that costs for the MGM to? I mean,
Sure.
just those moments, you know.
Sure. Now, let me ask him, when people seen him walking down the ring and coming to the ring and in the ring with walkwear on, how many pages did you get on your beeper? Because it had to be a beeper time, huh?
You know what? It's so funny. It's like a foggy memory to me then. I just remember being in awe because I went to the fight and I just was like, wow, this is crazy. But to this day, everybody that's cool with me, they said that was their moment for walkaway.
Yeah.
Like they remember. They said, I remember where I was. I remember what I was doing. And I remember when he came out in the ring, I was like, we made it. That's how you know, because it's teamwork. So everyone's like, dag, that's me. That's my girl. We made it, you know. So that was a big moment.
Yeah. And it's a proud moment. I mean, I think anybody who has, this day and age, and like, we always talk, and I tell you why, there's a million Call Them brands, there's a million podcasts, there's a million bagel stores, there's a million pizza stores. But, I think it's what you do that separates you apart and the relationships you build. A lot of people always, a lot of people may have something better or more money, and excuse me, they'll never understand about how does this person get Mike Tyson to wear. They don't understand. It's not about the money sometimes, about the relationship.
Absolutely.
The people within the camp, the people who's friends with this one and who believes in you and really who wants to see you win.
And God is her publicist. She putting that good energy into the universe, and the universe is going to take care of her because she's doing what she needs to do.
Yeah, God.
Yeah, but God doesn't. Listen,
Don't do that.
No. I believe in God, but I will say sometimes.
I love the side eye. She like, nigga, we will jump you.
No. Sometimes God don't be listening to me. So you
because
act like
it's not in your
not
time.
Exactly.
It's in God's time.
Exactly.
Yeah, but sometimes
Thank God didn't listen to me and some of the stuff I asked for.
Preach it, sister.
Sometimes he don't be listening. But you know what? Now, as we further along, so Walkaway, went on for 25 years. Mm-hmm. Now, but 26, right?
Plus.
Okay, 26 plus.
Mm-hmm. She trying to drop them accolades. You better get these numbers right, okay?
But
you better hit her with that plus.
But after
26 plus.
But after you wind up doing all these different things, you kind of slow down with Walkaway for a while, right? Yeah, meaning from stores and stuff like that. Right?
Crash and burn.
Mm-hmm. Crash and burn. Now, before this, like, how long when did FUBU come out?
FUBU came out. I don't know when it
that
came out. Like maybe
90.
No, they came out before that. I think I want to say the early 90s, but like I want to say like 93, 94. Mm-hmm. I don't know, but they came out early 90s.
Now, weren't a lot of people around you, some of these people who went off to start other brands like that? Like, I forgot the guy.
Tony Showman worked for me. He was my first sales rep. Hired him. He was from Seattle, and he came to me. I was doing a deal with Cross Colors, and he came and met me in L.A. And anyway, he was the bomb. He sold. He's a great sales guy, and I remember we started clashing. He wanted to run the ship, and I was like, "This is my ship," and he'll tell you the same thing. And he was like, "I got to go do my own thing." I said, "Please do." And he started Mecca.
Well, he started Mecca.
He started Aniche.
Okay.
He started Paris,
yeah.
But he got his training in School of Hard Knocks with Walkaway.
Yeah. Who else was on the
Danny Shaw.
Danny Shaw.
Danny Shaw started with me. Danny was a kid from East Flatbush hustling, trying to figure it out. And I was like, come up to the office one day. And he became my assistant and got his training. And he started Pure Players, 1020 Blues. Started, these $40, $50 million companies.
Sure.
So a lot of people.
When you think about, those people who, started clothing lines and brands around the time that you were doing it, they respect what you brought to the game, and I'm sure you respect what they brought to the game.
Absolutely.
Do you think, like, nowadays, the brands that been out, even, like, do you think they really care what, and I don't mean you personally, but what you brought to the brand anymore?
I think that the game has changed so much. It's just different, man. I think everything. So So technology is great. It's like you said, a blessing and a curse, right? Because we are living in the age of distractions. So everyone has ADD, so to speak. It's like they scroll. So the last thing you see is what you're going to like until you wake up tomorrow morning. And then it starts again. There's no brand loyalty anymore. There's none. And I think that it's hard to really reach people and drown out the noise.
We had Cool V here in here. Copmaster Cool V was Bismarck's DJ, and he's been around a minute. And he made a dope point of where he feels old school and new school should go on tour. So so they could learn. People could learn the old school, and the new school could learn the old school, and it'd be such a great. And I think that's great to, bring them back together and let them explain. So many times you hear in hip hop, like, all old people complain about the new music, and the new music complain about their old heads. But I think there's a lot to be learned.
So that was one of the reasons I wanted to come back with Walkaware. I'm a serial entrepreneur, so I do a bunch of different things, but wanting to inspire people was one of them, but also one of my models, my mantra for Walkaware is bridging the gap of Generation X and Y. And I do it through fashion without being preachy. But what it allows me is to do what I'm doing now and share story, do storytelling, to talk to people and to let that 22-year-old that just saw a fresh dress that goes on Twitter and says, "Oh my God, I didn't know you existed. Thank you." Yeah. Or that email I got on LinkedIn the other day from a girl in the UK that's a footwear designer that said, "So I'm watching Fresh Dress and I'm a footwear designer in the UK and I'm really have this dream of starting my own line and all I see is all these men and then you pop up. Thank you. Now I know I can do this." That's why I do what I do.
That's dope. It's dope to see that. And shout out to Mass Appeal and who put the Fresh Dress out with Sacha Jenkins? But who was that? CNN?
CNN.
Yeah.
Film.
It's funny that it was
Capone Noriega?
No, not Capone Noriega. CNN.
I'm here for it.
But when you speak about being a serial entrepreneur, to me, you're also somebody who's very inspirational. I love following you on Instagram and Twitter, whether it be Walkaware or I Am April Walker, where you have this thing you created called Walker Gems.
Right.
You always speak about what it takes to, get through things in life and what, just like inspirational shit. And I know sometimes people don't want to really hear the, Rev Run in the bathtub type tweets because, sometimes I'm Positive Pete or Political Pete or what else you call me, Pastor Pete, but I really enjoy some of the stuff. And you know what? I actually screenshotted some quotes, and I want to shoot them out, and you tell me what they really mean.
Okay.
Like it says, most goals come with a price tag.
You want to know what that means? Most goals come with a price tag. That just means that we all have dreams, we all have aspirations. You got to put a number to it and reverse engineer. You have to figure out determine what you want, and then just determine how you're going to get it. Meaning, like, how much is that going to take? And then back up into it. Then take the bike and reverse engineer and say, this is the number I need. Okay, so in 4 years, I need $40,000. Then I need to start putting X up, and then I'll get the rest from whatever. But you can do it. It's a will, there's a way, but you're not going to do it by clicking your heels. You need to
there's no doubt
figure out the number and start working it out.
Shout out to the Scarecrow. Accept where you are and where you are not. Who you are and who you are not.
That's just me saying, like, be you. There's nobody that can be you better than you. And I think that why I said accept where you are is because I think so many of us lose the magic of life because we're always looking ahead or always not being able to be happy and content in the moment where we are. It's fine to want to be more and to want to get ahead and have these dreams, but you have to be able to just be.
Yeah. And not only looking ahead, I think a lot of us, particularly me, we also look in the past.
We look in the past and we look from side to side. We're not like a horse with running our own race. We like, oh, she got this, or he got this, or he got his show is better, or this one is that, or her fashion brand. Who cares? It's you are your own competition. Accept who you are and be that.
Someone was just telling me that. I feel like this is like confirmation. So someone was just telling me about the song "Roll Your Boat," like the meaning, like roll your boat. Like focus on your journey. Focus on where you're going.
Right.
And then you just came and said that. So I just got to redirect and refocus. Stop looking at these other hoes.
What are
Yeah,
you
don't worry
rowing?
about it.
Okay. Don't exist. Instead, insist.
That means
She's a rapper.
Look at this. She got bars.
Yo, she's a rapper. When that mixtape coming out?
Y'all got jokes.
Tell me about this. Don't exist. Instead, insist.
It's too many of us that are aiming. So I say, basically, you have dreams, right? You have to aim. And too many of us are aiming too low. So we're hitting that mark instead of aiming high. So if you want something, dream big, because your dreams are only going to realize what you dream. You'll only realize what you dream. If you're dreaming a 9 to 5 that you hate every day, that's what you're going to live. Whatever you believe in your mind is what can exist. And I just mean, don't take less. Insist on that. You could do it. Will it?
I agree. You know, and that's why
it's possible.
That's why I like these Walker Gems, because, you know, it's like I like anything that gives you insight to think and to, you know, keep your mind open and focused, because in this day and age we spin so much that, you know, you could just spin out of hand. Last one on the Walker Gems is it's not another person's responsibility to believe in you. It's yours.
Amen.
Now, obviously, that's self-explanatory, but I want to hear your, you know, opinion of writing these things.
Too many of us look for other people to validate our worth. And I think that it's your life, and you don't need somebody else to be your cheerleader. You need to be your own cheerleader. You need to believe in yourself. You expect other people to believe in you, but if you don't believe in you, other people will never believe in you. So let it start and end with you.
Church.
Because at the end of the day, if you are going to take on that entrepreneurial life and be about that life, don't expect other people to be, because what you're going to remind them of is what they're not doing. We all have that potential. So I'm not judging it, because I don't think we're all built to be entrepreneurs. But no one wants to hear about your dreams every day if they're not going for theirs. So it's not personal. You just need to study, stay quiet, be like the ninja, and attack your own dreams. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I always tell people, listen, people believe in people who believe in themselves.
Absolutely.
You can't, you know, like you said, you can't expect people to believe in you if you don't believe in yourself.
Believe in you.
I always say, even like, you know, like whether it be clothing line or sneaker stores or podcasts or whatever people do, I've had so many people come up to me and be like, yo, Premium Pete, man, yo, I'm a big fan, man. Yo, I got a podcast, but it's all right. Like, we ain't doing what you're doing.
Your
and
words are powerful.
In my mind, I'm like, man, come at me correct, man. Come at me like, yo, and he doesn't have to come at me like, yo, my podcast is better than fucking whatever you did. No, it could be like, yo, we got a dope podcast.
Right.
You know, let me believe what you believe.
Absolutely.
Don't put yourself down, because, you know, if you, it's like, I always tell, it's like a girl. If she sits there and is like, I don't give good sex and I don't do this, so what the hell am I want to mess with you for? You know, I'm about to mess with your friend, you know. But, you know, and you know, one thing that I'm very upset that I never got to meet my Brooklyn crush that April is friends with is Rosie Perez.
Oh, Rosie.
Yeah, I'm very upset, man. I'm very upset that I haven't met her yet.
Maybe we'll make that
But I won't
happen.
tell her that. I don't fan out for people, so. And it's not about fan. I just think she's sexy, so.
Well,
you know.
she's good
But I already
people.
had my problem with Latin women. You know, I already signed divorce papers for that shit. So I'll stay away from her. But when I was away, you know what's so funny? When I was away, there was an Italian dude.
And I'm never getting on that bad side.
No,
the Italian dudes?
No. What I'm saying is, when I was away, there was an Italian dude that swore up and down that he was messing with her for a long time.
Really?
Yeah. I won't bring that up to her, but I don't remember. Maybe I do remember his name, but yeah, I'm just saying.
Tell me later.
And I was like, Really, motherfucker? You gotta remind me that every day in the joint?
That's probably why it was probably a lie.
It could be a lie. Because I mean,
Guys
but
that
then again,
always talk about it.
Woody Harrelson, if he had some, great moments with her, even though it was acting, Bobby.
I met him. He's really nice.
Yeah.
Really good people.
Yeah. I mean, she reminds me of such a Brooklyn Spanish girl.
She is.
Like, honestly, like her loudness, her voice, her moves, her mannerisms are such, to me, I mean, I'm
and
sure.
And you're thinking old Rosie.
Yeah.
Thinking Mookie.
Yeah, she's
calm now.
Yeah, very much.
She was
I'm sure she's older now. She's probably drinking pomegranate
Malbec
tea and
right
shit.
Now.
Who the fuck knows?
Yeah, sipping on a green juice.
But you know what? We're going to go into one of our segments that we have here.
Right.
And it's dope. And I really enjoy it. And we're going to get right to it. Miss Lissa, ask Pete. Okay, we have, the internet's therapist. We have a couple submissions this week that people emailed us. Okay, so for those that don't know, Ask Pete is basically just, whatever you got going on in your life, anything. If you want to let Lissa know or let me know about if it's girlfriends, if it's jobs, if it's family, whatever the fuck it is, you email at thepremiumpeteshow@gmail.com and we'll read it off. And, on an episode, if it's not no dumb shit, we'll read it off and give you some fucking good advice. The internet's therapist. And I told you, too, if you want, leave your phone number in there, and we'll have one of our assistants contact you. And maybe we'll even call you up live on the next episode and try to help you out with your fucking problem.
Okay, so our first submission comes from a guy. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to say your name. Don't worry, you're safe. So.
But did he say his name?
His email says his name.
Oh, okay.
I keep telling you this. I'm kind of figuring. I feel like you wrote this. Okay, so his name is Pete. I'll do that.
Get the fuck out of here.
His name is Pete. That's just the crazy part. So, ask Pete. My wife and I have 2 kids. 1 5 and 1. Both boys. We argue about discipline. Sometimes I like to raise my voice to get their attention, and I think it works better than her more calm, soft approach. And she likes to tell me to stay calm and ignore the little temper tantrums that I believe he gets from me. Most of the time, her style works in public and when we're out. But when we're home, I feel like the oldest, Gavin, likes to see how far he can push my buttons. And he sure does. Like when he plays Spider-Man on my couch, he's going in. Like when he plays Spider-Man on my couch to my recliner. This is not English.
Really?
Yeah. I don't want the youngest Luke. He dropping names. This is Drake. I don't want the youngest Luke to learn the crazy shit early. So I really want to know is how both of you would handle this situation. Don't get me wrong. My kids are great 90% of the time. It's just when you have to say no to Gavin, sometimes he flips out. And I mainly think it's my wife's free will parenting to blame. Her famous words are, "Oh, it's fine. What is it hurting? Help."
Well, first off, thanks for the submission, and man, go have a drink.
Yeah, poor Gavin.
Go have a no, not Gavin. Don't pour the kid a drink, but you definitely have yourself a drink.
Gavin might need some Similac. Chill out. He might need a little.
Nah, you know what it is.
A little thimble of some Hennessy. He might be teething.
The situation that he's having is very normal, and it's okay to have one versus the other. And what I mean by that is, the father's a little bit more strong, yelling like, "Hey, listen, you listening to me, boy?" And the mother's kind of like calm, cool, and collective. And it's good to have that, but she needs to respect that there needs to be times where he's going to reprimand and she's going to be calm, cool, and collective. I think that if you let it go, from having an older kid, I'm being honest with you, when you let it go, it only festers later on. And they feel like they could get away with it. So, sometimes you need to be stern. I mean, look, I have almost a 17-year-old and a 1-year-old. When he's doing something, I'm like, oh. I look right at him. Like, don't be doing that shit. Not because he needs to know. And I'm not saying yell at him, but you need to raise your voice or you need to give him that look. And I feel like you, as parents, I feel like the team, that's the thing, like people look to be so compatible. It's not only about that. It's about like one helping the other. Even like April was talking about how your mother was more organized and your father was a free-willed person. So if he met the same person, they'd be lost. You probably wouldn't even be here today. You'd probably be scratching off lotto tickets all day,
Yep.
Think about it. What I'm saying is they had somebody who really the opposites attract. But
keep his life in order.
Yeah, most definitely. It keeps everything in order.
I definitely feel like when it comes to discipline, though, because it's something I am struggling with, it's best when the parents are both on the same page. Like, you don't want to be the lenient, oh, it's okay, mom, and then you have the father out here looking like a crazy tyrant because he's the disciplinarian. So if you guys could find a happy medium, that would be great. Also, something that sometimes works for me, well, now that she's older, it's a little bit different because she knows how to manipulate, but is when your child does something wrong, ignore them. Don't even give them your attention. But then when they do something great, that's when you just praise them, so then they'll understand that if they want to get your attention, they're going to get it by doing the right thing, not the wrong thing. Because a lot of times when we do bad things, we just want someone to show us that they care. So try that. What about you, April? Do you have children?
I don't. I have nieces and I have a nephew. I have nieces and I have a nephew, though, and they are they're growing.
So you cool on April?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't.
Well, how do you think she was able to build a career? You think it's easy with kids? It's not easy. She got to deal with a guy complaining.
I don't know what's going on because she got a ring shining in my face. Now, it's on the right hand, so I'm trying to figure, I don't know. But I'm nosy. Let's dig in real quick.
That could be from Jay-Z.
Nah, it's not
Becky
from,
with the good hair.
Be from Jazzo.
Jazzo ain't buying nobody no rings right now. That boy on the subway.
Nah, don't do that.
This is a ring I've had for a long time. I pull it out once in a while. I'm wearing it now. I wasn't wearing it for a while, but this is I've had this ring for a long time.
Oh, okay. So it's no symbolic like love moment.
What's the next submission?
So our next one comes from Aaron. Cheer. My name is Aaron. Love the show. I'm an aerospace engineer, and he puts Capricorn in parentheses, who is making a career change into the footwear innovation. The goal is to land a job at Nike. I've been a Nike head since the 90s, and I want to inspire and change the way we make shoes. I've reached out to over 20 current employees and visited Portland twice in the past 4 months. My question is, what is yours and Miss Lissa's current professional goals? Why are you acting? You want to go on a date? What advice would you have for someone looking to make a career change? What are your thoughts on fake it till you make it? What are some examples of creative ways people have grabbed your attention when asking for connections or advice?
Holy shit, how many questions?
He got a whole essay.
What's his name again?
His name is Aaron.
Okay, listen, Aaron, first of all...
King, how you doing? So, if you don't want to be with the Combat Jack show anymore, don't worry. You can definitely transition and do something
That's
new.
not A King.
You sure?
No.
Okay.
Anyway, the dude's name is Aaron, right? Mm-hmm. So, Aaron, listen, first off, salutes to being a Nike head. But if you want to broaden the horizon, you're in Portland. You have Adidas there, you have so many things. If you want to get into footwear and be innovative, you could get into any type of footwear company that is out there. Why not try and work for Under Armour? Why not try and work for Adidas or Nike? It don't just have to be Nike. I think sometimes, keep in mind, one of my friends was telling me that Nike gets 1 million resumes a month, I think, of people.
Right.
So,
Needle on a haystack.
Yeah, it's very tough. And Adidas is on the motherfucking rise. And not saying that you'll get in over there, but what I'm saying is...
Go see what Champion is doing.
No, Champions... We're not talking about them for footwear.
They definitely ain't doing too much. They ain't pay less. So maybe he can go and elevate them and get them popping. Maybe he should go to a lower end of the totem pole, and then that way he'll be like, get more attention.
Get his experience going first. Like,
sure.
I'm sitting here with Triple Threats on right now, and that's Danny Shaw. Once again, he started a line, but he basically took all the hip-hop brands. I'm wearing Onyx because I was Onyx's stylist, so it makes sense for me. But, like he was strategic in doing that, and sometimes I'm saying you got to think outside the box. I know I just jumped into your advice.
No, we wanted that. We wanted that.
Let me ask you something.
Wait, let's go through his questions and, answer all 17 of them.
No, we're not answering all 17. Hold up. But Sticky Fingers, was he always yelling when he talked to you, when you styled him? It's like, yeah, let me get that overall.
No, I think he's
cool cat.
Real cool.
Yeah.
Yo, so the first question is, what is your current professional goal, Pete?
My current professional goal?
Mm-hmm.
To turn all my dreams into reality, and to spend time with my family and be able to leave them better than,
Than when you was here.
when I was here.
And what about you, Miss Walker?
I think he just stole the mic. He just dropped the mic right there. Nothing can come behind that.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good answer.
Thank you.
Pete.
Thank you.
I think I'll say ditto.
Al,
Cheer.
don't worry. What advice would you have for someone looking to make a career change? Do it.
Do your homework. Do your homework, and talk to people, and just be authentic, be real, and there's a lot of people that will help, particularly even me. Meaning I talk to so many people just because of the way they reach out. Kind of like, yo, you have 5-10 minutes to get on a phone call. I know you don't know me, but I'm trying to do this, and I would love to get some advice. And if they come off cool, no problem. I hit them with my number. Call me up. It's funny because they're like, yo, I can't believe, I'm talking to you. I'm like, motherfucker, I ain't Bobby De Niro. You know what I mean? Like it is premio to God.
Yeah, he is annoying on my phone every day. It's no honor. But yeah, I feel like if you want to make a career change, I just feel like you should just go for it. I feel like if you're not failing at something, then you're not taking big enough risk. So just trust in your change and take that leap. Mm-hmm. April?
I think that you're right. But I think right before you just take the leap, plan of action. So just have a plan. I think you should try to go and be a fly on the wall somewhere for a few days before you jump into the ocean. Because a lot of times we romanticize that other thing. The grass is greener on the other side. So you want to make sure that that's what you want to do. And that means if you have to humble yourself and do a little interning or sit in for a few days and figure out what it is, to see what that is, that culture, because then you might not even like it. I have people that intern with me first. And I've had interns that say, I'm rethinking this whole thing. I don't know if this is what I want to do. And that's exactly what I want them to see, because everyone's not built for fashion. You got to make sure you love it when you're making a jump like that.
Yeah. Yes. And what are your thoughts on fake it till you make it?
I think that, to be honest with you, I think that's something that someone put in my mind when I was young, down at Wall Street many years ago. And they were like, yo, you got to fake it till you make it. And I didn't take it as being unauthentic. I took it as even though I had a $100 suit on and those guys had a $2,000 suit on, I made sure that I, got them fresh cleaned, and I had the Cray flannel cologne on. And, I felt like... No, Brew. I don't fuck with Brew. Nah. But I just felt like I faked it till I make it. I don't see nothing wrong with it as long as you're not really living the fake life to a point where it's like you're faking your life. Fake it till you make it, to me, is just a confidence boost. That's how I feel. It's not something where it's like you're making believe, but meanwhile you're struggling, or you're making believe, but you can't even feed your family.
Right.
Fake it till you make it, to me, is just roll with the punches.
Right. Fake it till you make it, to me, is putting things into the atmosphere. Like, sometimes you have to let the universe know what it is that you want or need, and you have to put it into, and like the same way April was saying, like, if you don't believe, no one else will. So it's not about being fugazi, but it is about, okay, if I want to be a talk show host, what would a talk show host be doing right now? How would I move if I had my talk show? So that way, when it is time, you're ready.
Absolutely. I agree with both of you. I think that it's confidence. Like, that street term came from confidence, like get in where you fit in, fake it till you make it. You have to try to figure it out. And a lot of times you might not know and be figuring it out. I think life is figuring it out along the way. So that's fake it till you make it in that sense. I don't think it's not being not authentic as much as it is like, yo, figure it out as you're figuring. Like, when I first started, I used to go into factories. I literally would go into factories and be like, how much does it cost for this jean pant to make it? I had no clue to what I was doing, but by the third factory, they were all saying around the same price. And that's how I learned, not having a mentor. So you know what? I was faking it because I didn't know. And when he said, how much did you pay at the last place? I'd say a number, but that number was what I wanted to pay.
Right.
And then he would be like, no, that's crazy. No, it costs this. So when I went to the next factory and then I said my number and he said, no, that number is crazy. It costs this. I know the number now because the two of them gave me a ballpark. So that's faking it till you make it. You know what I mean? Figure it out.
Right. What are some examples of creators?
Wait, hold up.
This guy has questions. You told You told the internet, and they came with their questions. If you build it, they will come.
Hold up. This is what's his name? Aaron. This is the Premium Pete Show. This ain't the fucking Aaron Show. We answered 5-6 fucking questions.
Did.
Listen, appreciate you, brother man. We hope you got something out of that. Internet's get involved with X Pete. Email at the Premium Pete Show at Gmail. You hear me?
I do. Do it again.
Okay. Email the Premium Pete Show at gmail.com.
And wait, Aaron. Dwayne Edwards, I think he might still be out in Portland. Look him up.
He does pencil.
Yep.
Yeah, he does pencil. So check him out. You know what? Let's jump right into. I
don't trust people?
Yep, I don't trust people. So, April, just so if you don't know, I don't trust people. I'm sure you see me on Twitter tweeting, I don't trust people. When we started the Premium Pete Show, we turned it into a segment. People submit every week of what and who they don't trust. Internet, you know how to get involved. Hashtag on Twitter, I don't trust people. At Miss Lissa knows, at Premium Pete Show, what you don't trust, who you don't trust. And if it ain't no fuck shit, like we always say, then we'll read it off on the show like we are now. What's the submissions?
First submission comes from Real Captain Hero. People who post blank photos on IG. Hashtag I don't trust people.
Yeah.
What does he mean? Like just a plain white background or something?
I don't know.
Because sometimes people post it because when you go to like, their whole pictures, it's like a big picture, you know? So sometimes it's like a method to their madness, and they're just on some extra visionary shit. And if you go to their photos, not that one photo, like actually go to their page, it might be like
it makes something.
Yeah, so stop judging.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know about really, you know, blank photos. It is what it is. It's kind of like whatever you do. But I just don't trust people who have blank profile photos. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like eggshell type things, you know? Like, it's 2016, man. Put something in that fucking profile picture.
I don't trust people who post, like, memes. Like, if most of your photos are just, like, words and memes or food, like, I don't trust you.
Okay, well, then you don't trust me. Go ahead. What's the next one?
Our next one comes from Drewski126. I don't trust people who don't know the first few bars of Notorious Thugs. Hashtag RIP Biggie. Yeah,
I mean, it makes sense, you know. Young and dangerous, you know.
Armed and dangerous. Don't Rich Homie
okay.
Quan
Oh
this
shit!
one.
I almost Rich Homie Quan.
You almost Rich Homie Quan.
You're right. It is armed and dangerous. Armed and dangerous.
Ain't too many can bang with us. Straight up, we know Angel Dust. Niggas labeled us Notorious. So that's niggas that love the bus. Yeah, niggas be scrambling and like. Violent and we just sitting here trying to win, trying not to sin. High on weed and oxygen. So much smoke needs oxygen. Steadily counting this Benjamin. Nigga, you should too. If you knew what this game would do to you. Been in this since 92. Look at all the bullshit I've been through. And now Millie Rock.
Okay, no Millie Rock.
I got a little hype.
Go ahead.
That's how I do. April got me hyped with her stories. Put it on my way. Our next submission comes from Jamil Hendricks. I don't trust people who drink Red Bull and Monster energy drinks.
Well, that's too much, but...
So you can't have Coca-Cola and Pepsi? Like, you just can't like both? You can't Mountain Dew and Sprite, a little bit of Sierra Mist?
No.
Like, no? Okay.
No.
I'll be honest with you, Monster Energy, it's a lot. And, you know, 5-hour energy is cool, but you got to be careful fucking with them things. To be honest with you, what I'm fucking with, I'm just speaking about what I'm fucking with, blueberry Red Bull. You get yourself a cup of ice... and pouring that blueberry Red Bull in that motherfucker, I'm telling you, official tissue.
I just been drinking black coffee, no sugar, no cream.
Okay.
Shout out to Heavy D. That's the kind of girl I need down with my team. And I've really been drinking that. I've been on my white woman stuff. So I've been eating boiled eggs and sipping on black coffee. And I'm not trying to indulge in too much sugar. And is this gluten free? Like, I'm trying. I really am.
Well, keep on trying.
I am to try. I'm gonna succeed. Actually, I keep doing.
Work it out.
It's happening. I'm a little hungry right now, but it's okay.
Let
As my
it come
stomach
to
growls,
life.
I I know that pounds are just shedding.
It's going to be all good. What's next?
I'm one waist trainer away from my goal weight. So, this next one is a Pete tweet. I don't trust people who put out cigarettes, then put it in their pocket.
Yes. I had to tweet that the other day because the problem is first of all, them motherfuckers smell.
They do.
When you put out, people, let me tell you something. It's a fucking cigarette, okay? Let it go. Like Frozen said, let it go. These people, let me tell you something. I understand you pay for it. It's your fucking cigarette, right? And people just don't want to let it go. April, let me tell you something. They'll be out there smoking. Something will happen. They'll rub it on a fence. They'll rub it on the side, and they'll put it in their pocket. Do you know what a put-out cigarette smells like? Yo, that shit smells horrible.
Yes,
man.
it does.
Horrible.
Even like Black and Milds, they only smell.
Cigarettes just don't smell.
Just smoke some weed and don't put it out. Finish it, and then go home. Google April Walker. Get your life together. Get inspired. Listen to the Premium Pete Show in that order.
There you go.
You don't need to be smoking cigarettes, okay? Cigarettes kill.
Well, sometimes some people need a cigarette.
Smoke.
I'm not judging you. Whatever. Sometimes I understand life gets tough.
I'm not judging. I'm giving them options.
Whatever you decide to do, just do. But I'm just saying, if you put out a fucking
play with
cigarette,
your vagina. You thinking that nicotine is going to ease you? You may need to rub one out.
Yeah, but that's for a girl.
A guy could rub one out. Okay,
well, he doesn't have a vagina, though.
Well, still, men to rub one out.
Well, maybe he does. Who knows? It's 2016. Anyway, we ain't judging you, internet. But I don't trust people. Hashtag I don't trust people on Twitter. Add us, Premium Pete Show. Miss Lissa knows. Let us know who or what you don't trust. And we'll read it off on an episode. So, April, as we end this episode, we'll get to a couple more things. It's dope just to hear, one of the reasons I wanted you on here, not only because, we're friends, is because it's dope to just hear your story. Even though I know it so well already and, heard it so many times, I don't even look at it like that. But it's dope just to know the moves you made, the relationships you built, and then also hear what you're doing now, just continue to be an entrepreneur, continue to inspire people, continue to do, a lot of, What do you do? What do you do online? What do you do, like webinars?
Yeah, so I'm doing a lot of, for the fall, I'll be doing a lot of online webinars again for people that want to BYOB, be your own brand. Mm-hmm. And then also for entrepreneurs and startups. And then I have a Walker Jim's book coming out for Christmas.
Uh-oh, Santa Claus is coming, St. Nick.
There you go. So get your Christmas list together. Make sure I'm on it. And then, fashion film, the fashion film series stuff I'm working on. So
yeah,
hopefully that'll be coming soon.
Listen, there's a lot of things in store for April, and it's like I said, it's good that you're still able to propel. And it's funny because you're one of the people, I feel like I met not many, but a good amount of good people later in my life who I feel like they, like they were meant to be in my life, there's a couple people that way that, friends turned into family. And, but you don't really find that later on in life.
No.
No. You don't meet
You're
people
right.
late in your life that you become so cool with and that you understand. And, as I know you appreciate me and I appreciate you. And, there's so many things that I've been through, Miss Lissa. And up and down where she's just been an ear. A shoulder, just, insight, just life shit. And, it's good to have friends, who have good hearts. And,
And you
I
got a
appreciate
big heart.
you. Yeah, I appreciate you.
Ditto.
Yeah. You see, Ditto? Ditto is my chair,
We all have our little sound bites. I also appreciate you. And just like being a woman in this male-driven industry, I can appreciate the fact that you never compromise your integrity and that you stuck to your guns. So
thank you.
Because it's really hard. It really is hard. And you are a beautiful woman, so you could have easily have swayed these men and used your beauty to get where you are, but you didn't. And a lot of the times it's harder, but it's worth it.
It's always a challenge.
Yeah.
And she's embracing as she gets older. You know, she putting the gray with the fashion.
Not hiding it. This is my stripes.
Yo, let me tell you something. That's what I love about people. Like, you know, obviously you could tell you're somebody who always been into like some type of fashion where it's like, who knows what you were doing as a kid, like just trying to put something together with something. I could see it. But the point that really, you know, is funny to me is at my son's baptism at the party, one of my friends later on said, "Who's that lady with the gray hair?" She said, she looked like a young, sexy, older woman, you know? And I was like, oh, that's April Walker, man. And it's funny because it's like, you know, it reminds me of that. Even like, what's that guy's name? You know, Nick, the guy with the gray hair. He's like a fashion guy. His name's like Wooster or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
You know, but like, it's funny to see people who always been about that life. But when they get older, it's not like they're like, I'm old now.
Right.
You know, I'm not really about this fashion life. Nah, they're like, yo, I'm going to propel forever.
You, right?
Forever. Like, you may have a cane, MCM. You know what I mean? Like when you get older, you may get a walker, and you may put some
April Walker.
Trick it out, bling it out.
Bling it out.
You know, get that customization going. You know? But you know, I think that it's exciting to have an episode that people could really look back on and just get some insight. You know, so I guess what we'll leave the internet is being that Walker Wear is what propelled a lot. And then also your wittiness, your style, your sense of humor to build relationships. That's what really helped it. So internet, I always tell you, even me, I'm a good product of that. Building relationships will take you, I mean, endless.
Life.
You know, you never know where they go. So stop just trying to look at what you get from somebody. Don't have no ulterior motive, and build a relationship that's pure. And you know, and I will say this, being that Walker Wear was built on clothing, and this, you know, a lot of your push came from fashion and clothing, and then even though you pioneered through everything and meshed it and everything, what's the difference, you know, from, you know, years ago to now of opening a clothing line? In the sense of what you would give some of these young kids, because everyone's open, you know, clothing lines these days. You know, what's some advice you would give them, you know, for opening right now?
This is probably the best time to have a business because you have the internet, and we didn't have that resource. So you could go straight to your consumer. That was one of the reasons. Your consumers are on the internet. You just have to find a way to find them, you know, and to talk to them. And I say being authentic. So this is not my quote. Let me start with that. But it's something that stuck with me in this entrepreneurial book I read called Crazy is a Compliment. If you're trying to get your thug on, get that book. They say be flawsome, not awesome. So the more authentic you can be, the better it will turn out for you. Your customers want to enjoy the journey with you. So don't try to hide behind the curtains like you're the Wizard of Oz. You know, the Wiz in the Wizard of Oz. Don't try to be that guy. No, show them. Show them your pain moments. Show them your hustle. Show them your grind. And watch them watch you as you elevate yourself in your journey. And they will ride with you during that whole time.
There you go. Internets, make sure you visit walkerwear.com. Check out what she's doing. I am April Walker. Walker Wear on Twitter and Instagram. Just keep up to date with her and see what she's doing. For those people who know about Walker Wear, know about the history, and know about, you know, the pioneer that she is and how she really helped, you know, just I feel like just not only ladies, but just the urban community, just meshing things. And there's a lot of things, you know, if you know about that, then, you know, I hope you really appreciate this episode. If you don't know about it, you know, then learn, you know, and keep an open mind, and even, you know, take an opportunity to do your Googles and find some extra things out. Some of the things we spoke about, you could Google and look. There's a lot of pictures out there of, you know, Big or Tyson or, you know, just different moments, you know, and Pac, right? Yeah, you know, I mean, it's, you know, like, I'll be honest with you, you know, and I'm gonna leave on this note. My daughter is 16. I tell her, like, yo, you got Google at your fingertips. You know, you take advantage of that. And she'll be like, it takes time. Really?
Right, compared to what we had
compared to what we had to do.
Get on the train, go to the library, start researching. You know?
That's crazy, man. That's crazy. But anyway, internets, listen, believe in yourself. And like we said before, people believe in people who believe in themselves. So whatever you want to do, take a risk. Even if you have a day job, you know, for the moment, take your risk, build your empire, build your brand. And be
a side gigger.
Yeah, sure, be a side gigger. And thank you, April. Thank you for being a friend. And thank you for, coming on the episode.
Always.
Listen, we out.
Ow.
See you next episode.
We gonna be right here next Thursday.
Chicha.
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 Thursday.